dare you forget that I'm a tail? You have to I did not consent to being changed. Yay. I've Oh, shut up. I've been a fish for a while. Oh, Keelan, to be fair, like, I've been, like, streaming on my own channel, and my streams have had me using a Garsona for, oh, it's probably been at least half a year now. What do you think I'm doing, you bastard? Hmm. Right, that's right. I get you, Keelan. Aw. Right, aw. Right before we start, it's very important that I send you this image, that is the, um, title of an Onion article. Oh. Why are you reading it out loud randomly? For clarification to everyone listening, that was an Onion article I sent Bright. But she apparently doesn't know how to read in her head anymore. No sky.
Item SCP-2348, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation satellites and service monitoring outposts in the surrounding region will continually monitor 2348. Changes in anomaly structure and signs of movement must be reported immediately. Description: SCP-2348 is a 0.6 kilometer wide cumulus cloud located over the Pacific Ocean. Surface coordinates 48 degrees 52.6 S, 123 degrees 23.6 west. Hereafter, point 2348. 50 kilometers above the surface, the cloud is shaped like a human hand, with its fingers splayed, possessing a high level of detail. Since its discovery, the cloud could not be changed structure or moved from its present position. No attempts at causing alterations have succeeded. Below are other phenomena associated with 20.
Hmm. I I don't think they could quite find a good picture to display that.
348. Subjects that observe the anomaly for greater than 5 minutes lose awareness of the existence of other clouds, objects, and phenomena present in the sky. These effects end when observation stops. Observers in a 60-kilometer radius of point 2348 report a lack of stellar bodies in the night sky. 2348 is often referred to as the only visible star. 85% of clouds that pass directly under 2348 are found to be indistinguishable from 2348, displaying the same anomalous properties. The clouds continue to be indistinguishable until naturally dissipating. 9% of camera equipment operated in a 60-kilometer radius of point 2348 record live views of various clouds. After a minute, these clouds invariably vanish. Testing has confirmed that the viewed clouds never existed. Precipitation in a 60-kilometer radius often contains ice crystals forming structures identical to that of the anomaly, though with the index finger pointing. Crystals exposed to water generate cloud-like aerosols. Ingestion leads to one becoming indistinguishable from 2348 as a sequent skyward cellular replication. Several subjects identified 2348 as a sole source of sunlight, moonlight, and starlight. Information of the sky was corrected accordingly. 0.1% of aerial objects that pass directly under 2348 are found to be indistinguishable from 2348. Persons aboard manned objects affected this way are additionally found to be part of the sky. Of note is that the number of clouds present in a 2,800 kilometer radius around an anomaly has been decreasing since the anomaly's discovery. This is attributed to further confirmation of the lack of non-2348 clouds. While objects have entered 2348, all witnesses report 2348 only injecting additional sky. Update. SCP-2348 is now shaped like a human hand pointing directly downwards. Outposts in a 2,800 kilometer radius of point 2348 must enter indefinite lockdown immediately. Maintaining complete isolation from the outside world, civilian populations in this radius must be ignored until containment teams can confirm the existence of non-SCP-2348 aerosols. Information on atmospheric structures consisting of liquid droplets, frozen crystals, and other particulates must be destroyed. Personnel must not consume any liquids primarily comprised of H2O molecules that have originated from these structures. Substitute fluids must be ingested instead. Expect no further messages until orders to end the lockdown are sent. Entities claiming to be the sky must be neutralized on site.
Okay. Yeah. Or like, real quick, go back to the article. Yeah. Um, just below are phenomena, subjects that observe the anomaly. Existence of other clouds, objects, and phenomena present in the sky. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not this is like all these percentage chances are just affect everyone or only those that have like been observing it for greater than 5 minutes. And I mean like the aerosol part where like if you breathe in those aerosols you become an instance of the cloud. So I don't know if it's like very specific as to whether or not that kills you. But we do know that they're at the very least concerned that those aerosols are being sent down. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Right, that's not just this stream. Uh, at the very least, they're, like, trying to confirm whether or not civilian populations are being affected by it. Hmm. This one's just fucking this one's odd. Uh, I think what the fuck is the most appropriate. Because I just don't know how else to rate it. Because I feel like we're missing information on, like, the effects that it has on people. Because, like, when it says that they become an instance of the SCP, is that saying that they literally turn into a cloud and thus cease to exist? Or is that just meaning that for a time, everything and everyone perceive it as one of said clouds? Yeah, I just saw that. I was about to comment on it. Trans CP. SCP. Trans SCP. Mm, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. That is just a person's back with a bunch of little bumps on it. From the mind of Malinal Zititi? Zitshiti? Shittle? That's that's reading as like an Aztec name of some kind. And like Aztec names are one of those like languages that I can never wrap my head around how to pronounce words from them. Mm, huh. Bump bumps. Also, let me know if my button presses come through the microphone. How long is it? Oh, it's not too bad. Uh, nah, you go ahead and read it this time. You see, a lot of my whether or not I want to read or not is hingent on the fact that my throat has been pretty easily irritable lately. Okay.
Item SCP-2350. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. A recording of 2350 is stored on a secure USB drive in the Site-42 Digital Armory. This drive should only be handled by deaf personnel or personnel wearing industrial-grade earmuffs and earplugs. Mole Task Forces Lambada 12 Pest Control and Upsilon 4 Sugar Pill have been jointly assigned to handle containment of 2350. Upsilon 4 is working to develop an inoculation against 2350's effects, while Lambda 12 investigates potential 2350-1 events occurring in Vietnam. If Lambda 12 locates an area affected by 2350-1, they will determine the radius of the effect and establish a containment perimeter around it. The Foundation will then liaise with the Vietnamese government to establish affected areas as wildlife preserves. The Foundation is currently attempting to negotiate with the United States of America for the release of certain classified files within their archives. If necessary, political pressure.
Then, well, then lies? That's one of those words that I've never heard of. Yeah, let me. How does that spell? I-S-E. Definition. Liaise. Oh, okay. Establish a working relationship. So it's like liaison means someone that you've established a working relationship with. Okay, that's huh. I've just never heard that word used like that. Okay.
May be placed on the USA to achieve this end. Description: SCP-2350 is a weaponized mimetic agent transmitted by sound that manifests as the idea of a swarm of mosquitoes. Human beings that hear 2350 will perceive the swarm as attacking them. Though deaf humans are unaffected, for every 12 seconds that 2350
Oh, that wouldn't be too surprising.
is audible, the perceived size of the swarm will double. Humans affected by 2350 will suffer from rashes and other inflammatory responses consistent with mosquito bites. Affected humans may also develop symptoms consistent with mosquito-borne diseases such as malaria. In several cases, patients developed a combination of symptoms not associated with any specific disease, but with mosquito-borne diseases in general. 2350 was developed by the United States as a weapon for area denial and saw extensive use in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. The sound was stored on magnetic tape inside a mortar or bomb shell, which was then launched at a target area. Upon landing, the mortar would play 2350 until its power supply died. As merely being near these areas would result in infection by the meme, thousands of Vietnamese civilians.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty predictable. It's not a war with the USA if they ain't aggressively war criming.
Were killed or driven from their homes. 2350-1 refers to a phenomenon affecting sporadic areas of the Vietnamese jungle, wherein 2350 is produced without an apparent source. It is suspected that -1 resulted from protracted usage of 2350. Affected areas are entirely devoid of fauna. The native wildlife appear to avoid these areas by instinct, while non-native animals introduced to the area immediately flee. Discovery: the Foundation first became aware of 2350 on April 30th, 2005, when Mobile Task Force Lambda 12 Pest Control encountered the anomaly in Vietnam while tracking an outbreak of 2810 during the expedition. Lambda 12 arrived at the abandoned settlement affected by 2350-1, whereupon they discovered a mortar intended to transmit 2350 and were infected by it. Lambda 12 were able to flee and report the incident. Recordings from the settlement and analysis of footage of the mortar and cross-referencing of external intelligence led to the official designation of 2350. Discovery log. Log begins approximately 1.5 kilometers from the settlement of interest. 4 members of Lambda 12 are pursuing.
Well, if you're wanting if you're a writer and you're wanting an isolated location where it's less likely for a pathogen to escape, Siberia is like one of the best places to put it in the world because that's like imagine the population density of Alaska, but further expanded. like it's basically just constant tundra up there. Like there's people living up there, but population centers are smaller and fewer and further between.
A pregnant instance of 2810-1 in the form of an Indo-Chinese tiger. L1 is equipped with a flamethrower, L2 with a net launcher, L3 with a tranquilizer rifle, L4 with a standard issue light machine gun. As the team
What the fuck? Okay, is that a Keter class we're gonna be coming across later? Oh no, it's a Euclid. Okay, I guess it's not that infectious, but Jesus Christ. Hmm. So it's feasibly an STI. Hmm. Penis is made of humans.
tracks the instance through the jungle. They observe several organisms. Watching them, though none of the organisms appear to be infected. Approximately 0.25
Yeah.
kilometers from the settlement, Lambada 12 spots the 2010-1 instance grooming itself and moves in. L3 takes aim at the tiger and fires. However, at the same moment, the tiger stretches itself out and avoids the dart, which strikes a tree. At the sound, the tiger flees. L3, motherfuck. L1, oi, shush. L2, no pulling, boss. Damn thing was off like a light. L3 sighs.
Fuck.
Alright, let's track it down again. Good man. Come on, lads, as bad as a tiger. L2 takes point, examining the instance tracks and leading the group deeper into the jungle as the jungle proceeds, and the first few houses in the settlement come into view. The group's audio recording equipment begins to pick up a buzzing sound. Footnote 1, later identified as SCP-2350. A town. I thought you said this place was all jungle. Was on any of my maps, that's for sure. Say, any of you boys hear that? Hear what? What buzzing? That buzzing sound? Yeah, I wonder what that is. What do you know? I hear too. Sounds like mosquitoes. L3 slaps his left arm. Yep, mosquitoes. Sounds like there's a lot of the fuckers too. Right?
Motherfuck.
Safety's on, weapons down. Don't want to scare the locals, eh? We ought to ask about the tiger. It looks like it ran through here. Lambada 12 proceeds further into the settlement. As they do so, it becomes increasingly evident that the area has been abandoned. No signs of life are present, save the grassy vegetation between the homes and the settlement. All homes are covered in copious quantities of mosquito netting made from natural materials. Doesn't look like anybody's been here since Nam. We're in Nam, dumbass. I mean the Vietnam War, Keter. Focus. Where is everyone? L4
Possibly. Maybe did it mention whether or not like it affects people listening through recordings rather than like from the sound itself? Hmm. Well, I guess the sound's coming through the recording thing, so it's probably possibly. Yeah. Also, hey, Apollo.
stops suddenly and looks down. At his feet is a pair of skeletons. One is child-sized and laid out so that it overlaps the arms of the other skeleton. Right here. Jesus! L2 kneels down and examines the skeletons. Looks like a mama and her kid. She was running away with something and tripped, but their bones are intact.
Yeah, and gives them the physical effects of being attacked by mosquitoes, but there's no actual mosquitoes there. And it was developed as a weapon of war by the United States because war crimes.
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Think an animal didn't do this. Hey, you know what? Where are all the animals? All I hear are mosquitoes. So what did? No tracks either. Just a tiger, and that thing looks to have gotten the hell out of Dodge. What are you thinking? I'm thinking that the animals around here are staying out for a reason. Let's take a look at that. One points towards the center of the village before dropping his arm to slap the other. The rest of Limbotted 12 follows his gaze and spots a large crater in the center of the village. L2 looks back.
There's mosquitoes around. We can't risk shooting them while we try to kill this tiger. For context, Apollo, the people that were listening to this log from were looking for a diseased tiger that has like an anomalous disease.
At the skeletons. Maybe a bomb. Not much of a bomb, eh? Place looks fine. Dead, maybe? Should we check it out? Christ, what is with all these mosquitoes suddenly? Tell me about it. Let's take a look. Tracks lead in that direction anyways. The group moves towards the crater. Noticeably, each member is snapping or scratching their own limbs, despite no mosquitoes being present. As the group approaches the mortar, the buzzing sound becomes louder. As they near the crater, the vegetation thins and the ground becomes progressively more cracked. When the group reaches the rim of the crater, they look down at it. At the bottom of the crater is a large mortar shell bearing U.S. Army markings with an abnormal shape. The mortar is shaped cylindrically, through its sides tapered towards the top, and there is a bevel at the bottom. There is an open hatch on the side of the mortar. That ain't ominous at all. Knock it off. I'll go down there and check it out. You three keep an eye out for anything weird. Elwyn sights down the crater and approaches the mortar. He examines the hatch and reaches into it, pulling out a magnetic tape. What the hell is this? Boss, look up. Elwyn looks up, the sky is clear and no abnormalities appear present. Bloody hell. Run! Elwyn scrambles up the crater. He is helped by L2 and the group proceeds to flee from the crater, dropping their weapons. In the process, it is unclear what they are fleeing from, as the camera recordings do not show anything abnormal. However, all members of Limbotted 12 are repeatedly slapping themselves all over their bodies. Into that hut! Limbotted 12 flees towards a nearby home, ducking under the mosquito netting and forcing their way into the home. Alright, what the bloody hell is that? A billion fucking mosquitoes. Holy fuck. Jesus, the goddamn sky was black. You think it was that bomb? If anyone could create this cocked up of a place, it would be the Yanks. Right. Focus. How do we get out of here? Look around and see what you can find.
So, like,
Well, I mean,
usually, if there is a lack of wildlife, or there is an increase of a specific type of wildlife, that is a very bad thing, and you should not be there.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think the anomaly, uh, does the anomaly make it so that you think you see mosquitoes? Hmm. Then yeah, you'd think they would have started noticing that. Maybe it'd be harder to see mosquitoes through whatever, like, glasses they use. Oh, wait, that's right. Like, by the sounds of it, they're not wearing, like, full gear if they're able to feel as if the mosquitoes are getting through to their skin. Hmm.
Reckon we can cover ourselves in mosquito nets and get out of here. Sharp thinking. Right, see if you can find someone around here. L3 moves towards the rear of the hut and comes across a bed covered in mosquito netting. There are a pair of skeletons lying on the bed covered in netting. L4 comes up beside them. Christ, what do you think happened to these two? Starved, I bet. Come on, help me with this netting. Poor bastards. Why didn't they just use the nets just to get the fuck out of here? Maybe they didn't want to leave their homes, you know. L4 slaps his arm. He and L3 look at each other. Oh, fuck. Boss, we gotta go. They're getting in. L1 and L2 approach, slapping their arms. I can see that. Right, lads, into the nets. L1 and L2 drape themselves in mosquito nettings, while L3 and L4 do the same. Should we, go back for our guns? Do you want to? No. There's your answer. On the count of 3, we rush out of the house and out of the village. Keep running, don't stop, don't slow down or slap at the buggers. Just keep running. Got it? Got it. Got it. Got it. Good, man. Okay, 1, 2, 3. On the count of 3, L1 pushes the door open and breaks into a sprint, followed closely by the rest of Limbot at 12. Although the camera recording from this point suffers from heavy motion blur, no mosquitoes are visible, and the sky is clear. Despite this, each member of the task force reacts as if being attacked by a large quantity of mosquitoes. This behavior persists as the task force exits the boundary of the village and for approximately half a kilometer into the jungle. Once the task force is 2 kilometers from the village, Limbot at 12 calls for extraction. Log ends. History records of the ASCI, American Security Containment Initiative, indicate that SCP-2350 is descended from a mimetic weapon.
Yeah, okay, so they do see mosquitoes.
Used by Spain in the Spanish-American War, based on the Aztec prayer to Mali now Chitl, the Aztec goddess of snakes, scorpions, and insects. The efficiency of the Spanish weapon was limited by the primitive state of the European mimetics. The carrier sound had to be made by handheld noisemaker, did not cause any physical effects, and affected both Spanish and Americans. As such, the weapon did not contribute in any meaningful way to the Spanish war effort, and research on the weapon was relinquished to the United States as part of the Treaty of Paris of 1898. Records collected by the Soviet intelligence indicate that the United States attempted to refine the weapon for use in both world wars by developing an
Right, yeah. They're carrying around the friggin' the mortar.
inoculation against the meme for the use by Allied forces. The necessary breakthroughs to develop mimetic inoculations were not arrived until 1947. As such, SCP-2350 did not see usage in either world war. Pentagram, the occult branch of the Department of Defense. Research records acquired by the Foundation indicate that the first inoculation for the weapon was developed in early 1950, enabling its first deployment via naval shelling at the Battle of Icheon. The weapon would see further use as a tool to deny any supply lines and hold major choke points during the Korean War. It is suspected that several canisters of the weapon were breached at the Battle of Unsan to cover the retreat of the American forces. Recovered Chinese records of the battle make repeated reference to large swarms of mosquitoes abruptly materializing at crossing points along the Yalu River and attacking all Chinese forces that attempted to pursue the Americans. The form of the weapon, classified as SCP-2350, was developed by the Special Operations Division of the United States Chemical Corps and deployed en masse during the Vietnam War. under the codename Agent Black. In addition to having an increased swarm growth rate, the weapon was able to induce physical injuries in its victims. At some point prior to 1961, 2350-1
Great.
began to manifest in Vietnam. The American inoculation was ineffective against this form of 2350, enabling it to attack both communist and anti-communist forces indiscriminately.
Yeah, I called it. Saztec.
The United States attempted to curtail the spread of 2350-1 through their herbicidal warfare campaign, Operation Ranch Hand. Although this attempt was partially successful, it had the added effect of defoliating huge portions of otherwise unaffected jungle and displacing thousands more Vietnamese civilians. As of 2005, the United States was not acknowledged the existence of 2350 and has repeatedly rebuffed attempts by the Foundation to gain access to its historical anomalous archives through traditional channels.
I mean, that's how that works.
Yeah. Hmm.
As it should.
Yeah,
So
that sounds about right.
we do stuff like that a lot.
So, for starters, this SCP was only discovered by the Foundation in 2005. That long after it was being used as a weapon in Nam. As far as I'm concerned, if I was an O5 council member, I would be putting on an immediate order anytime that there is any war that involves the United States, SCP starts monitoring the ever-loving shit out of it. It is unacceptable that this anomaly that was used as a weapon of war in the 50s and late 60s, going into the early 70s, was only discovered in 2005.
Not to mention that when it was very first started back in the Spanish American War, that was before the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah, like when the
How was this
anomaly was
not
first used.
found?
Yeah, that's like this anomaly has at the very least existed for what, like almost uh what, close to a century before the
It's
foundation?
107 years
Oh
before the
wait,
Foundation
so
found it.
yeah.
1898.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, even more so, the foundation should have fucking oh man, this is such a fucking embarrassment for the foundation. So, put that aside, um, this anomaly when trying to tier list it, yeah. So, I guess the question is, are we basing this upon hypothetical danger level or danger level as laid out in the article? Because if it's a hypothetical danger level, this could be used to absolutely obliterate countries. Yeah. Yeah, like if there was any sort of power that got their hands on this and really wanted to screw certain places up, all it would take to completely devastate a country or maybe just a city is start blasting it over the radio waves. Yeah. Like anyone who's not deaf or wearing the right earmuffs is going to start being affected by this. And it was already mentioned that people who are affected by this display symptoms of mosquito borne diseases, i.e., the diseases that killed the most people in the world. Like, you gotta remember that mosquitoes are, like, the deadliest animal on Earth for humans. Yeah. Yeah, like, this is, like, super dangerous. So, yeah, I mm, I'd yeah, I guess, yeah, if those organizations got their hands on them. Mm. Yeah, I think, hmm, I would say world changing. I don't think that this item alone could feasibly cause an XK, but oh, and Apollo, for reference, an XK class refers to basically Armageddon.
Ah,
Zeke, yeah.
well,
So yeah, I think world changing is reasonable because at the very least it could just completely shift all sorts of things about just standard society as we know it. Yeah, obviously. because like it's not actual mosquitoes, it's phantom mosquitoes that are biting them even though they don't actually exist.
It's almost like a psychological thing with a physiological result.
Yeah, which that's like not exactly uncommon for mimetics, but it's just like the nature of this mimetic is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was used as a fucking uh yeah.
I wonder how the process of generation loss um would go with that. Because like generation losses is if somebody made a recording off of this recording that's like
Oh yeah.
and stuff, and like the quality gets messed up and corrupted
Mm,
over continuous recordings over. So I wonder how that
right.
would affect something like this. Like, would it make it
I'd
worse? Would it
I'd be
would
willing
the
to
quality of it go down, like, in its effectiveness?
I would be willing to say that uh if like the quality of the recording goes down, perhaps the mimetic nature would decrease, but it like
To also become more of it could become more of a psychological thing as well if like, quality of the recording goes down, then, the psychological effects could go up because of that, because sometimes watching some of the things that go through generation loss itself, it's very creepy, and
yeah.
the visuals get corrupted, and it looks very horror movie-esque, even though
Yeah.
like you could be watching a commercial for the cutest fucking dinner plates ever, but it could look
Yeah.
like somebody's holding like a decapitated head up or something, and it's
Yeah.
not.
But hmm, oh. Oh, that's just fun.
Yay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like I guess that's the thing with like whether or not this like generation loss would affect this SCP is the fact that like we don't know whether like I don't think that it being spooky sounding is what affects like the mimetic properties. It's like and I guess that's the other thing. Like trying to speculate about this sort of stuff is so fucking difficult because like
there's so many ways that this could go.
yeah, as well as the fact that surprisingly, in case anyone here needs to be reminded of this, mimetic agents don't actually exist. So it's
Yeah.
hard to place them on like how this would go when
And
compared to
and
more standard human phenomena.
a surprisingly few number of people actually know what generation loss is and how it works. So
Yeah.
it's very likely that the it wasn't even thought about. Like there was
Yeah.
no thoughts over how that would work.
Yeah, come to think of it, like I'm pretty sure like almost like back when I was like really into looking at like conspiracy theory debunking videos, like half of the time when people brought up like videos that they were trying to claim this is an example of the fact that the lizard people are controlling everything, it's literally just generation loss is the
Yeah.
answer.
I didn't know what generation loss was until a huge internet project went out or was starting its development done by Ronbu.
No.
It's valid.
Yeah, optical illusions, maybe like, oh, this word gets used way too much by bigots nowadays, but like actual social contagions and
Yeah.
like mass hallucinations.
Yeah. Like something like things
Uh,
that cause people to laugh until they physically cannot anymore, or the like dance until you die
yeah,
curse that went on.
that's what I was thinking of, the dancing plague, where just
Yeah.
like an entire town just
Just
spontaneously felt
started
as if
dancing
they
and
literally
couldn't
could
stop.
not stop dancing.
And
And
then
like
like they danced until they were so exhausted like their bodies just stopped functioning. Yeah.
that actually happened, yeah.
Let
It
me see where and when it was.
I know it was in Germany, but that was like in like it was real long ago. Well, because this is like obscure history
It
facts,
was
right?
in France actually.
Oh, it was in France? I could have sworn it was
Yeah,
in
the
Germany.
Dancing Plague of 1518 was a mass episode of uncontrollable dancing that occurred in Strasbourg, France from July to September 1518. The event began with Frau Treffet started dancing in the street without music and continued for days, only stopping briefly for exhaustion. Some others joined her, and
Are
the
you
mania spread to hundreds of people. Oh no, what happened?
What's up? Wait,
For
have
how
you
long?
been
Keelan, have you been able to hear me this entire time at all? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It was working fine when I opened OBS. Did it just OBS decide, fuck you, and disable it? I hate OBS.
Okay, here, let me.
No, they've just been hearing Hatchet and a Pop.
oh,
God damn it.
Oh my god, no.
It's a good thing Hatchet was mainly describing why it's so bad.
Yeah,
yeah.
so Kieran, uh just for future reference, if you don't hear Bright being annoying constantly, assume Bright's muted and
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah, so it just means that when I make this in a video, I gotta reread it.
Oh man.
It
Well,
sucks.
worse. It could honestly, it could be worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be worse, but oh, that's really funny.
Also, why are our little icons backwards? I just noticed that.
Are they backwards?
Yeah, yeah, because my person does not face that direction.
Well, I fixed it.
She looks so weird facing from that direction.
Anyways, let's go to the
So
new
that's
list.
unfortunate. Yeah, let's go to the new tier list.